Bulsa North in the Upper East region. He's a ranking member on the Defense and Interior Committee of Parliament. He was a Deputy Minister for the Interior in the Mahama government. He's joined us on the line. Honorable, you're welcome to Eyewitness News.
Thank you, Sander.
First of all, before we go into the details of what your leader has said, educate me on how a Ghanaian becomes a member of the armed forces, maybe that's outside your purview, you were at Interior. So let's look at the Ghana Police Service, the Fire Service, the Immigration Service. I don't know if ambulance falls under you. What is the criteria for going into these services based on you are a lawyer and also, of course, you've been a minister for that sector before?
Good. So under the criteria, or if you like, the procedure is very clear. Normally, the security agencies, before they embark upon any recruitment exercise, and I'm speaking in general terms, you earlier indicated that I worked at the Interior Ministry. That is a fact, but the procedure applies to the armed forces too. So first and foremost, the particular security agency which intends to embark upon recruitment would need to seek financial clearance from the Ministry of Finance through the budget. So once financial clearance is granted, the agency then takes it upon itself to cause to be put out there an advert. And that the advert would normally contain the eligibility criteria for the recruitment. So when I talk about eligibility criteria, I am referring to the age, the height, the qualification, and so on and so forth. So the criteria would be spelled out in the advertisement to be put out there. Now, in addition to that, these days they use the electronic mode of recruitment. So a portal is usually opened, and you go to a bank, purchase a voucher, use the information contained in the voucher to apply online. Once you apply, when you apply online, the electronic recruitment platforms would give you an indication whether you qualify or not. Then you proceed to the next stage where documentation, you are examined physically. In addition, your documents are assessed. And when you meet the criteria, you progress to the next stage, which is the medical stage, where you are examined medically to see whether you are fit to undergo the training. So that is the criteria for recruitment. So, and this applies to all the security agencies of our country.
Okay. How foolproof is this criteria or this procedure?
You see, Sander, first of all, when advertisements are made, they are made to the entire world. I mean, once you are Ghanaian and you qualify, equal opportunity is created for Ghanaians who are qualified to apply. So it's very important. But what we are seeing now is that advertisements are not made. They recruit secretly. And that is where, the minority leader spoke about fraud.
Are you sure the advertisement is not made? Have you got copies of the daily graphic from January to December, in which daily graphic you failed to find an advertisement from any of these agencies?
Sandra, we've done our checks. But this matter has resurfaced. Earlier on, when this same matter came to the fore, sometime in 2019, I recall I did a press conference and took on government. And the defense government put up at the time was very lame. All they said was that a backlog had been created. Some advert was made in 2018, and they were now trying to clear a backlog. So effectively, what they said was that an advert had been made sometime in 2018. So I will not be surprised if they come back and say to the hearing of Ghanaians that it is the backlog they are still trying to clear. 2018, today we're in 2024, 6 years down the line, they would come and tell you that they are clearing a backlog. But, Sandra, when you first apply, all right, age is a factor. So after a year, 2 years, you cannot be talking about a backlog, right? Now, if you progress to the medical stage, after 2 years, 4 years, your medical condition would have changed. So this talk about backlog clearance is untenable. I mean, it's a joke. Talk to many, security experts, and they will tell you that it is not done anywhere. It is only in Ghana that you hear government put up such arguments that the advert was made way back and that they are now trying to clear backlogs. So I can tell you on authority that no advertisement whatsoever have been made.
Now,
so far as the current secret, and that is why it is secret recruitment anyway, it is being done, in the dark.
So this
we use our intelligence sources to discover that, they are collating names mainly from parliamentary candidates of the government. They've given now close to 30 slots to each parliamentary candidate. But, Sandra, you know that the Constitution does not allow us to politicize our security services. Because when you do that, the loyalty of the personnel when they come out of their training schools would be to a party, a political party, and not to the state. You know that is very dangerous for the peace and security of the state.
This advertisement you talked about, is it legally binding? Is it by law a dictation that there must be an advert before?
It is captured in their regulations, service instructions, right? So, if a particular security service adapts instructions for itself, right, it is binding.
Beyond the advertisement, which you really haven't shown to me that...
In any case, Sandra, does the Constitution in Article 17 not prohibit discrimination of all forms?
It does, but who has been discriminated against? I mean, you haven't proven that the people who are applying...
The overwhelming majority of Ghanaians who do not have equal opportunity to apply because advertisements have not been made are being discriminated against.
But you see,
so if you are not in NPP colors, first of all, you don't stand the chance of being recruited into the security services. That is where the discrimination comes to play.
But the problem is that you've made a claim and you've told us the procedure that people go through to apply, and there's nothing wrong for a group of people to show up and apply. And indeed, if someone decides to organize people and help them apply, to the extent that the application process is fair, there's nothing wrong with it. You have not proven that these people who are applying are one, NPP members. Just a second, let me land. That one, they are NPP members, and that two, they were brought by an NPP parliamentary candidate. This is your claim of 30 slots per candidate. It's not standing on anything. Give us some solid ground to believe your claim.
All right. So, Sandra, if you listen carefully to the minority leader, he stated categorically that slots have been given to NPP parliamentary candidates. I want you as a journalist to invite the Minister for Interior for interrogation.
based on an allegation you have made, which allegation has no basis.
So
I should
you
just.
want to substantiate the truth.
But why would you
Wait a
just,
minute.
former minister, you don't come and make an allegation, expect us to go on a wild goose chase.
Sandra, can you allow me to answer your question?
Go ahead.
My duty is to respond to your question. Now, I am telling you on authority that parliamentary candidates of the New Patriotic Party across the length and breadth of this country have been asked to furnish the security services with names, persons who have not previously applied to join the services, so that they can be recruited. Now, from now till about the end of the month, I want you to observe whether new recruits would receive appointment letters for purposes of training at the various training schools or not. These are facts. We have chosen to act preemptively. In the past, when I put out in the public domain that they were recruiting secretly, they came out and rubbished my claim. Sooner than later, people saw crowds at the prison school at the Boston Institute queuing for body selection. And pictures came out and people saw for themselves. So when we choose to act preemptively, we expect the media, the fourth estate of the realm, to be inquisitive enough, get to the ground, do your own investigation to establish whether what we are saying is true or false.
But now the fourth estate wants you.
To elect to dismiss our claims because it is coming from us, it would be most unfortunate and regrettable.
It's not because it's coming from you, it's because prima facie you haven't really given us anything solid. You just want us to keep running on anything.
Sources,
yeah, but intelligence sources, you need for minister, you know. Hold on a second. You have been working in the intelligence.
I can tell you.
Can you give me, for instance, hold on. Can you give me, for instance, the at least 15 people who are sponsored by the NPP parliamentary candidate for your constituency? That's something I can work with.
I should give you names of 15 people who have been sponsored
by your NPP parliamentary candidate in your constituency.
Our claim is that it is not from my constituency alone. It is across the left and breadth.
I know, so I'm making it easier for you. I want us to do Bulsan North.
You want evidence? Let me give you evidence.
Great, let's go.
Reference the budget statement, your last budget statement. You will find that in it, allocation has been made for recruitment. For this year, this fiscal year. So the allocation has been made, the appropriation has been done. So what we expected that what was supposed to follow next was an advert. But as we sit, you are a journalist. Have you seen an advert? Have you seen an advert?
I haven't taken the time to look through the newspapers of the last 365 days. So I will not be able to answer you now, but I'm sure you did a research.
The budget is the starting point. In the budget statement, clearly, provision was made for recruitment for this year. And you know, it takes a minimum of 6 months to train a recruit. We are approaching June. So this is the time they must sort out names of prospective applicants. And I'm saying that there are no applicants because there is no advert in the system. Is that sufficient evidence, Sandra?
I do not think so, but if you could just indulge me, I want to hear from the government. So if you could kindly be on the line for me. I have the government spokesperson on national security on the line. His Paragraph Buachi Dankwa. He's joining me. You're welcome, sir. Hello, Paragraph.
Right, Sandra, very good evening to you and to your listeners.
Good evening. Former Deputy Interior Minister is on the other line. He has just said to us, and indeed his leader, the Honorable Atufosin, has also made a claim earlier, that you are secretly recruiting and you've given slots of 30 each to your parliamentary candidates. And again, you have not advertised. You are making the armed forces, the police and other services a very partisan organization with what you are doing. Can you give us any information that would contradict this claim he's making?
I'm very surprised and disappointed to say that the former Deputy Minister for Interior, is trying to politicize the security environment. He's been former Deputy Interior Minister. He knows very well that this is not what is done in any government of this Fourth Republic, that you would particularly want to recruit political people into the security services. The security services, from the military to the police to the immigration to customs to prisons and fire service, have been extremely professional and devoid of any partisan influence. And he knows that. I'm quite surprised that this is coming from him, who has served in government, who knows very well that persons that are recruited are persons that are recruited on the basis of integrity. Persons that are recruited are persons that are recruited on the basis of the fact that they have gone through the proper processes and they have passed all their medicals and they go to the training. There is not a single person that has gone to the training for military, for police, for immigration, for customs, for prisons, for fire service that you would say and point to this person and say, this person is an NPP person, this person is an NDC person. And it's important to note that there was even a publication online. I mean, just a simple look online will state that the Ghana Armed Forces recruitment forms for 2023-2024, the application portal was opened December 2023. It's online. Just a cursory look at that. You can easily find that you need to go onto the portal.
Give me that detail again. The portal is what?
The portal, www.
Yes, go ahead.
Ghana Armed Forces.
Continue.
www.gasrecruitment.mil.gh. So www.gasrecruitment.mil.gh. www.gasrecruitment.mil.gh. Just a cursory look at that.
What I'm looking at is www.gafonline.mil.gh.
Add recruitment.
Okay.
www.gasrecruitment.mil.gh.
Okay. I'm opening that. While I do that, you can proceed.
And so for me, I think that it's a very important year. It's a very volatile environment because of the issues that have happened within the sub-region of West Africa and how we have been able to keep Ghana safe. The President, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, who is the Commander-in-Chief of the Ghana Armed Forces, has kept this country safe from 2017 to date. We have not recorded any external terrorist attacks as we have seen in the various sub-regional countries. And there is not a single person, there are no quotas that are given to political persons from parliament or any other person for persons to be recruited into the security environment. It is not anything that happens. You can ask the Chief of Defense Staff, you can ask the IGP, you can ask the Comptroller of Immigration, you can ask the Chief Fire Officer, you can ask the prisons. There is nothing of that nature. All these persons that are recruited are citizens of this country, devoid of any political influence.
I just opened your portal. There's a subheading GAF Recruitment. It says receive updates on recruitment into the Ghana Armed Forces here. Down, we have a photograph of 2 army men, a navy ship, and then a chopper, an Air Force chopper. Then we have the coat of arms of the armed forces. Then we have a notice that says there is currently no enlistment or recruitment exercise ongoing. Check back later. This is what you wanted us to see?
This. If there are any advertisements at all, this is the platform you would go to.
So his point is that there have never been advertisements and that you keep claiming that you're doing backlog recruitment, but you are just secretly recruiting your party folks. So this actually sort of makes the point that proves the point that he's making.
No, Sandra, you recall that every single year when there are budgetary allocations for recruitment into the security agencies, there is a huge number of backlogs. And I mean, of what reason would it be to have new recruits when you have not been able to clear backlogs of people that have qualified over the years? I know persons that have qualified over the years that have not. It's just the same with the nurses. If people have graduated from nursing school and you are supposed to enroll those nurses into government agencies, you need to pick from the years that we have not been able to deploy. It's the same system. And so if we're looking at backlogs, his claim is failed because we're not looking at backlogs of political people. We're looking at backlogs of Ghanaian citizens. And I think that it's important that we call him off and state that the agenda within which he wants to propound into the Ghanaian history is something that should not be encouraged at all. Because we will not sit here in this country for political people to be recruited into the security environment. We are in this country to ensure that the Commander-in-Chief of the Ghana Armed Forces, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, ensures that every single person that is recruited into the security agencies is one, a Ghanaian, one, qualified of age, two, of sound mind, three, of credible knowledge, and one who has passed the security intelligence that has been recruited.
Okay.
And so if you come along and you state that these persons that have been recruited are of political activities, is he trying to tell us that that is what NDC does when they are in power?
When was the last time there was any recruitment in any of the services here in Ghana?
You know, Sandra, like I stated again, there are backlogs that we are always making sure that we are clearing the backlogs.
So since President Akufo-Addo became president in 2017, has there been any recruitment that is not based on the backlog?
There's always recruitment.
Do you remember the last time?
Readily available. I'm aware that there are persons that are in training. Okay, so I'm aware.
Which means they are new recruits or they are backlog recruits?
Well, Sandra, I think that, you see, whether new recruits or backlog recruits, the substance of the issue is that we are ensuring that the security personnel are equipped effectively so that the ratio between citizens and security personnel match up equitably. I think that that's the real conversation.
Do you know the last time we advertised for people to apply to be recruited? Do you know?
Sandra, every now and then you'll see that people would queue at Elwak station. And they are going through the various processes. And so,
but that should be based on advertisement in the dailies. James Agalga is saying that they haven't seen that happen in a long time. So where are you making that? And that the advertisement is only happening in NPP strongholds, targeting NPP persons who have been told that they should come up for recruitment, 30 per parliamentary candidate, he says.
That is inaccurate. That's inaccurate at all. That's not appropriate. Every single recruitment that is done by the security services are all advertised. Every single one of them. If you find recruitment, it means that there is a backlog.
But you cannot tell me. You cannot tell me when the last advertisement was done.
Readily, I cannot.
Let me ask him if he's satisfied. Please stay on the line for me. And Honorable James Agalga, you've heard the government spokesperson on security there. He says that the recruitment happened because you do know that if the old people have not been recruited, there's no point bringing in new people. In fact, my attention has just been drawn to the 2023 publication on Graphic, which says all you need to know about the latest Ghana Military Academy enlistment. Then there's a daily graphic publication of October 2023. It says 2023 enlistment into Ghana Military Academy entry requirements. Does this satisfy your request for publication?
Sandra, we have not faulted the military in terms of the applications and advertisements relative to the military academy. Aside the military academy advert, which other advert are you aware of? Now, if you listen carefully to the minority leader, he spoke extensively in respect of the agencies under the Ministry of Interior, the prisons, the immigration, the police service. And if you like, the NID, because the gentleman who spoke is supposed to be the spokesperson at the National Security Ministry. I'm challenging him to produce an advert for immigration, fire service, prisons, police service. The last time the agencies under the Ministry of Interior put out an advert for recruitment was in 2018. You see, he's not well informed. It was in 2018. And so since 2018, they have been clearing backlogs for 6 years running. And Sandra, you think this is acceptable? The point is that, you see, when you float the eligibility criteria for recruitment in a given year, and applicants apply, at the end of that recruitment exercise, it's finished. If you were not able to make it to, say, the police, fire service, prison, etc., it's finished. In subsequent years, people would have attained the recruitment age. What do you do with those ones? If you don't put in a fresh advertisement for those who have just turned 18 and above and are qualified to also put in their application. So this is fundamental.
So for you, there should be no such thing as a backlog in this recruitment.
As a backlog.
When you were minister, you can put hand on chest and say that there was no backlog recruitment.
I am saying on authority, and I challenge the spokesman who said I served in government as deputy minister and ought to know better, that he should go back into records and point out the year NDC did recruitment when we were in power without prior advertisement. We did that any time we're about to recruit. This mantra about backlog, I mean, is something that is new. We started hearing about the clearance of backlog when NPP took over power. And I'm saying that it started in 2018. That was the only time they advertised for the agencies under internal security. As for the armed forces, yes, the military academy advertised. We commend them for that effort. But all other security agencies are supposed to follow suit and do likewise. So let the spokesperson inform himself well next time before he takes me on these matters.
Very well. Thank you so much for speaking to us, Honorable Agalga. James Agalga is a former Deputy Minister for the Interior. He's MP for Bulsa North. Let me finish. If people apply this year to be in the police or in the immigration service and they do not go through, by next year, the key criterion for determining whether you are fit to go into the service or not, you may not have been eligible. If it has to do with your height, of course, maybe you can just increase in height. But what about age? What about your health and all these things? So when you keep relying on backlog for more than 5 years ago, are you not recruiting people who are not fit to be recruited based on current circumstances?
Sandra, I don't think so. I think that every time we look at a backlog issue of persons that could not make it up to the recruitment of the particular year, when you go back, you will need to do medicals again. I mean, people are aware that even normal citizens would want to do medicals for their own upkeep every single year, either in summer or either at the beginning of the year or at the end of the year. And so when we do consider any backlogs at all, we get back to the stage of medicals, because medicals is the final stage of passing. I mean, even there are persons that when you go for the exercises, you even fail because you are not able to make it up. And so medicals and exercises are the final stages that you need to ensure that you go through. And so the fact that you haven't made it up for this year's recruitment, and if at all we want to look at a backlog, and we are looking at backlogs, you will still need to start the process from medicals. And I mean, the age, obviously, I mean, people who apply who are either younger than the age would have a space of time. But if you are above the age, or if your age passes, when we are looking at the backlog, if that's all we do, you will not be part of the persons that will be called for medicals, if it is.
But your continuous reliance on backlog, which he says is alien, appears to be a window for you to recruit the people that you wish, which is what the claim he's making. And your backlog story is becoming unbecoming, isn't it?
No, I mean, Sandra, well, I think that the main thing is to look at how the security services are really numbered in terms of citizen ratio with the security services. And so if there is a need to recruit, the government of Ghana ensures that persons are recruited.
Yeah, but the point is that he says since 2018, you haven't done any fresh recruitment. You keep relying on a backlog, which is like a phantom.
Sandra, can I give you a website for you to look at?
Yes, please.
If you don't mind. Good. Police.gov.gh.
Police.gov.gh.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Take a look at that website. You would realize very well that there are always conversations around recruitment in the various security environment our reliance as a government is not entirely on a backlog, as the honorable member of the minority side was to put it. We ensure that every single Ghanaian always has an opportunity to be engaged within the security services. We ensure that every single Ghanaian has an opportunity to be engaged within the security services. And that's the main goal, that every single person who is engaged is patriotic enough, is able to defend the country, is able to ensure that peace prevails within the four corners of this country.
But when this backlog thing, he says is alien, and that it is only under your administration that we are seeing backlog. What do you say to that? That you are the ones who have introduced this thing. How come we've never had backlog in the past?
Sandra, we've always had nurses backlog. I mean, there are nurses that have not yet been enrolled into the institution of government hospitals. You are aware of that. We also have teachers backlog. Okay, and so it's important, really, that as the population grows in the number in which we have, about 2 extra million people have come to add the 32.2 million people that we have had, and so now we are crossing to about 34 million plus and going. It's important that you ensure that everybody has equitable access to the various opportunities that are available. And I mean, it's important. We cannot neglect the past as we look into the future. So there's an equal balance of those that are recruiting new, and then we even open the portal for even those that have applied in the past as well to apply. And often you see people, it's a coding system, you understand? Because the coding system is there. If we are looking at a 2024, 2025 calendar year of recruitment, if you make your applications and you go through the processes, often you are able to go through faster because you have gone through the processes before.
Thank you
and then it appears as though it's a backlog. But it isn't a backlog as people want to look at it.
Thank you for speaking to us. That's Paragraph Bachi Dankwa. His government spokesperson on national security. By the way,